My name is Andrea and I'm from Kitchener, which is 30 minutes down the road. I got my first concussion when I was 15, so 25 years ago, oh dear. Snowboarding, and then I got another concussion in a weird freak accident when I was recovering. And then my last concussion was about 9 years ago, where I got a frisbee in the back of my head. Very silly way to get a concussion, but oh well. After that, I didn't feel right for a very long time, and I never really knew what was going on. A long list of symptoms that didn't seem like they fit together until I started researching more about post-concussion syndrome, and I checked off so many boxes on that list that the proof was in the pudding. I found out about the clinic when I started researching post-concussion syndrome. It was something that I had suspected that I might have for some time, and so the more I looked into it, the more I saw that Moore MyoWorx came up. So I did a bit more research, and I was really impressed the more that I read and the more that I learned, so I booked a consultation, and that's how I got here. The ARP program was called lovingly by my family and friends concussion camp. In my own words, I feel that the ARP was like really intensive physio, but with a really strong emphasis on education. It wasn't just about treating your symptoms, it was about teaching you and giving you the knowledge you needed to understand why it was happening and what different stretches and strengthening you could do to alleviate your pain and make things better in the long run. So I found that to be a huge benefit. So there were a lot of stretches, strengthening, and lots of one-on-one time with experts who helped me understand what was going on and why and what I could do about it. The ARP program has been an absolute game changer for me. I came in with such a long list of symptoms, and I came in with really high hopes based on everything that I had learned about the clinic and my research. But I wasn't prepared for just how much it was going to change my life. I went from feeling pretty terrible most of the time, but gaslighting myself into thinking that was normal. That was part of being a working adult, having a busy life. And then when I started to feel improvement, I was blown away at how much better I felt. Everything was sharper and clear. I felt like after the 2 weeks, it was like I was a boat that had lifted up the anchor and then couldn't believe how much easier everything felt. I felt it in every facet of my life, and it's amazing to hear my friends and my family just say how it's the old me is back. It's been such an amazing experience, and I'm endlessly grateful. It's hard to pick one highlight of the experience with the ARP program, but I think it has to be the moment when I feel like the clouds started to part and I started to feel what it could be like to feel better. It was probably a few days into the process, and I remember waking up after having probably the best sleep of my life, and I remember thinking, is this how people feel when they wake up in the morning? Because that is not how I felt pretty much for as long as I can remember. So to come into the clinic the next morning, and when everyone asked, how are you feeling today? And I could say, I'm feeling really good, was such a huge moment for me. And I was so surprised at how quickly that came. I was expecting that it would take a lot more time before I was able to feel that kind of a difference. But when it happened, it was just, I was so motivated to keep going and to just see what more we could do. And it was such a huge moment for me. So that's got to be the highlight. I did connect with a lot of the staff here at Moore MyoWorx. I think I connected with all of them. I had a really great consultation with Terry that really helped me understand that the symptoms that I was experiencing, they weren't in my head, which is something that when I was speaking to some other patients here who were going through a similar experience that I was, you tend to gaslight yourself into thinking that you're crazy, you're not actually going through this, it's something else. So it was really validating to talk to Terry and understand that there was a way to fix what I was going through. The team of kinesiologists here are incredible. I really appreciated that they were so patient and knowledgeable. They answered every single question I had. I feel like I've walked away from this experience learning so much. But they make it such a friendly and professional environment, so you don't feel like you're asking stupid questions. You can just come in and it's welcoming, and I really appreciated that. I also really appreciated getting to know Mary, who handled everything at the front of the office. It made it really easy to go through the 2-week program. I always knew what to expect. So it was just a great team, and I felt really well taken care of. The breakthrough sessions were a really unique opportunity to connect with other people who are going through the same thing that you are. That's so validating, because it's usually such an isolating experience when you're dealing with these very strange symptoms that don't seem to line up. And it was just so validating to hear someone be like, yeah, me too. And being able to go through some of the exercises and feeling like you're not alone in the process, it really was a great experience. I would definitely be recommending Moore MyoWorx to friends and family. In fact, I even started before I finished with the ARP program. I have so much faith in the team here to handle really difficult cases and treat things that previously I didn't think could be treated. In fact, I was playing with my dad playing a game of golf with my dad after I went through the program, and after he saw the improvement in my game, I think he was considering calling and making an appointment himself, which he probably should. So it's been a wonderful experience. 10 out of 10 would recommend.